Good day, and welcome back to Royal News Daily, where abdications are never quiet retirements, and every royal move hides a story the palace does not put on the public record. Now imagine this. Denmark's longest reigning monarch, Queen Margrethe II, suddenly steps down after more than 50 years on the throne. On paper, it looks like a graceful handover. In reality, the whispers tell a much juicier tale, a mix of family tension, modernization pressures, and a monarchy forced to adapt faster than anyone expected. Before we dive into the royal reasons behind this dramatic shakeup, subscribe to Royal News Daily and click the notification bell. Because when a queen abdicates, the aftermath is just as compelling as the decision itself. Let us set the scene. Queen Margrethe's reign has been iconic. Celebrated for her sharp mind, artistic flair, and political savvy, she navigated Denmark through decades of societal change while keeping the monarchy both relevant and respected. But even the most enduring monarch faces limits: internal, public, and familial. The abdication did not happen in isolation. Behind closed doors, palace sources indicate mounting pressures, tensions over succession, disagreements about the future role of senior royals like Prince Joachim, and public scrutiny intensified by family controversies. Each of these factors created a backdrop that made abdication appear as both inevitable and strategic. Think of it as a political party leadership change, but with crowns instead of ballots. When internal factions disagree, the leader sometimes steps aside to preserve the institution, even if it means leaving power at a moment when the public thinks everything is fine. Reports suggest Queen Margrethe also considered the generational gap. Crown Prince Frederik represents a new style of leadership, more media-savvy, modern, and prepared to navigate Denmark's increasingly digital, scrutinizing society. The Queen understood that stepping aside allowed her successor to consolidate authority while she remained a stabilizing figure behind the scenes. In other words, she passed the baton without disappearing entirely, a graceful exit with influence still intact. However, the abdication was also personal. Recent family tensions, especially around Prince Joachim and the revocation of his children's royal titles, created friction within the palace. Insiders claim Margrethe sought to prevent these disputes from overshadowing her final years as monarch. By abdicating, she reshaped the family hierarchy and sent a clear message: adaptation is necessary, and old habits will no longer dictate the monarchy's future. This decision, of course, triggered intense public debate. Analysts and media commentators questioned whether the move was purely procedural or a response to hidden crises. The timing raised eyebrows. Why now, after such a long and steady reign? Why not continue as the stabilizing figure Denmark has relied on for decades? The answer, insiders suggest, is a combination of duty and pragmatism. Margrethe recognized that constitutional pressures, internal family dynamics, and generational shifts required a proactive solution. By stepping aside, she allowed King Frederik to tackle these challenges head-on while she remained a mentor, symbolically supporting him without limiting his autonomy. From an Australian political perspective, this is familiar. Leaders often resign, not because they are incapable, but because their continued presence could inhibit reform. Stepping aside becomes a tactical move, preserving both the institution and the individual's legacy. The monarchy operates the same way. Margrethe's abdication was less dramatic exit, more calculated strategy. The ripple effects were immediate. Crown Prince Frederik now had the legitimacy to address family disputes, public perception, and constitutional discussions without constant comparison to his predecessor. Senior royals were realigned into new roles, ensuring continuity. And the Danish public, though initially shocked, largely responded with admiration for the Queen's foresight. Yet, as with any major shake-up, tension remains. Questions about Prince Joachim's absence, Crown Prince Christian's future role, and the monarchy's ability to modernize without losing its identity continue to linger. Margrethe's abdication solved one problem while leaving others unresolved. a balancing act that only time will fully reveal. What this episode tells us about modern monarchies is critical. Power is no longer just inherited. Influence, credibility, and public trust must be constantly negotiated. Abdication, far from a weakness, can be a demonstration of strategic foresight. Queen Margrethe recognized that stepping aside was not retreat, it was evolution. And evolution is essential for any institution seeking relevance in the 21st century. The Danish monarchy, under King Frederik, now faces the challenge of proving that it can adapt while retaining the gravitas and dignity